Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for my rational perspective on Sheffield United 3, Chelsea 0. Chelsea's worst performance of the season. An absolute disaster from start to finish. There's no way around it. There's no positives for me from that game at all. I don't think I can look at really any player and think, you put in a good performance today. There were certain aspects I can be hopeful about going into the next game. It was an absolute disaster. It really was. It's so hard as well to try and dissect that game because there's so many parts of it that were just absolutely terrible that, you'd spend a lot of time, I think, going through each player or like certain performances. I think there are general things I'm going to speak about that needs to be spoken about and needs to be critiqued after that performance. But considering the occasion, considering how much it meant, considering the nerves and the pressure beforehand, how big it was for Chelsea to go into this game. And, a draw wasn't even that good a result, really. But defeat is just absolutely abject. And the performance that went with that defeat is so demoralising at this point of the season for Chelsea. It's so damaging as well, I think, for the squad, for Frank Lampard as well. I think I usually go back to the team selection. I think for me, critically, I think I have to firstly talk about Frank Lampard negative-wise. I've given Frank a lot of praise this season, and I think rightfully so, based on the expectations of pre-season, based on the fact this is his second year in management, the transfer ban, bringing in young players. He's done a lot of positive things this year. As a fan base, we're much more united than we were 12 months ago, and I think that's very important for Chelsea moving forward. And there are positive elements to this season, absolutely. And a lot of eyes, this will be seen this season of Chelsea being in the race for Champions League qualification as an overachievement a bit, because there are people ruling us out of even that contest this year. But Frank Lampard, I think, needs to take criticism, not only for today, but I think defensively, coaching setup this season, it has not improved at all as the season's gone on. It's been a case since pre-season that's, been bad pretty much throughout the season. I think at times as well, personally for me, I feel we've been uncertain at times at Chelsea. I mean, today was the prime example of we started the game with a 4-3-3, which is the formation Frank Lampard has stuck with since the restart of the Premier League. Then at half-time, he shifts to a 3-4-3, bringing on Marcos Alonso and Antonio Rudiger. Then he shifts to a 3-5-2, I believe, when he brings on Olivier Giroud, and we start going very direct. And then he shifts to a 4-2-4, bringing on Callum Hudson-ODOI. That doesn't look coherent. I know some people be like, well, you're changing things. But to me, that's changing things way too much. And it seemed like we abandoned any type of principle of moving the ball quickly. It just simply became about hitting the ball long and trying to hope that, Tammy or Olivier Giroud would knock it down and score and we get something out of it. We lacked absolutely any cohesion going forward, any rhythm, any of those positive elements to Chelsea's game this season were completely gone. I think when you take off Mason Mount, you lose that. I mean, none of the players in the first half really, with the exception of a little bit from Christian Pulisic, looked positive. I can go way back because so much has happened since that first half. But once again, it's a decent start by Chelsea. We look like we have some sort of control, but defenders falling asleep once again. Chelsea aren't going to go anywhere when you've got players like Andreas Christensen, who, despite having good performances in games where the ball is predominantly on the floor, like against Man City, in games where it's aerial and games where you're against players where it's going to be a physical battle, Christensen can't cope. And it's not just not coping. I don't think he got bullied today. He just was, static, like a lot of Chelsea defenders, just static in the box, allowing free headers, where Kepa, I actually think, was unlucky today because he makes an amazing reaction save, but his defenders don't bail him out. The rebound. Where is a blue shirt there? A blue shirt should be at least trying for that ball, and it's almost a carbon copy of the goal against Aston Villa. If you remember that goal where Kepa made a good first save, but there was a lack of reaction and the ball goes in. We've seen that a lot. So static, and it's just so irritating. And the second goal is even worse. It's the moment, I believe, as Ender Stevens gets round. I think it was both Reece James and Willian. You knew we were in trouble because the ball was coming into the box. It was a good ball. How much space did McBurney have there? Absolutely ridiculous. It was. And 2-0, and especially against a side that was impressive and structured against Sheffield United, you're always going to be on the back foot. It's going to be so difficult to break them down from that position. And Chelsea just lacked any cohesion. There was a little bit in the second half where you thought Marcos Alonso may improve our play, but really, I mean, what was our aim in that second half other than getting it wide, crossing it into the box? Mostly a poor cross. I thought Tammy had a really bad game. all round, I mean, I think it's a little bit reductive to just go this player, that player, that player, that player. I think all round collectively we were absolutely awful today, and I put Frank Lampard in that category as well. I think why wasn't Mateo Kovacic starting this game? He didn't even come off the bench. I don't know if that's the case of fitness coming back from injury, but I think we lacked his presence, his being able to take out several men, being progressive in his passing. Olivier Giroud, why wasn't he starting? I thought he actually had a decent impact when he came off the bench. He'd probably done more in about 9 seconds than Tammy had done for about 65 minutes, but once again, the game was already gone by that point when Olivier Giroud came on. I don't understand why Giroud wasn't starting. Willian and Pulisic had mooted days, but I think it's unfair because I think both of them have actually been performing amazingly well. So it's on other players to step up at that point. Jorginho being overrun in central midfield. So people get annoyed at me because I like Jorginho, but of course he has a responsibility. And Chelsea should have lost that game 4-0. I mean, there was that chance, wasn't there? 1-on-1 with Kepa, they put it past the post. It should have been 4-0. It should have been even worse. Today, nothing went right. Nothing went right at all for Chelsea. That third goal was an absolute shambles. The fact that Chelsea were trying to get back into the game, we get countered. Antonio Rudiger tries to get something on it, but it's comical. He doesn't get enough on it, so it's just a free hit. And that's it for McGoldrick, and he's scored, I believe, now 2 Premier League goals. Hasn't scored all season, but of course, a bit like Christian Benteke, if a player is playing against Chelsea who hasn't scored in ages, you can be guaranteed they're going to score against Chelsea because that's the way it's going this season. That's how poor our defending has been. It's too easy to score against Chelsea, but I watch videos on this channel against like Everton in December. I was saying the same thing, and unfortunately, it hasn't improved. And unfortunately, I think it can't be improved to the end of the season when Chelsea need to recruit centre-backs, recruit new defenders to try and improve that. But that's not all on just recruitment, I think. Also, it's on Frank Lampard, because to me, conceding goals like that against Sheffield United, you know what Sheffield United are going to do against you. It's not a massive surprise. We know they're going to be very rigid, very well set up. They're going to try and attack from wide areas, crosses into the box, try and get knockdowns. We know that's what they're going to do. It's no surprise, the overlapping centre-backs. This is not, a surprise to Chelsea, and it shouldn't be a surprise. And also, if there are any Sheffield United fans I'm watching, I'm not trying to disrespect, Chris Wilder or the amazing work he's done this season, but even those goals, to me, I've seen those type of goals before, as I've explained. I've seen Chelsea concede similar goals. I don't think it was anything to do with Sheffield United's brilliant setup to get past us. I've seen literally every team get past us in similar ways this year, so I don't think you can just put it down to great attacking. As Chelsea fans, we've watched week in, week out, month in, month out, seeing the same mistakes over and over again. And that needs to be not only on the players, Chelsea getting rid of players who can't be trusted and improving in areas and spending big in those areas of recruitment, not just in attacking areas, because we're not going to win anything with defenders who just stand still in the box when a ball comes into the box. But also on the coaching staff as well, improvement wise, tactically, not only defensively, which is the bigger problem, but also attacking wise, losing all semblance of sort of control or shape or understanding what we're doing. I mean, we've not been a direct physical team all season moving forward, but suddenly we are with 3 games to go. When we're chasing a game, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me, and it was a bit of a mess, absolutely all round in all factors of the game today. It's really difficult to talk about games like this because it's very difficult for me to be positive. And there is going to be a concern now about, Champions League football. Can Chelsea get it? It's still, I think, sort of in our hands in the sense that Leicester and Man United play each other on the final day. But now it puts absolutely massive pressure on Chelsea, not only to beat Norwich on Tuesday at home, but also go to Anfield in a couple of weeks' time and also finish the season at home to Wolves. If we win those 3 games, I think Chelsea will get Champions League qualification based on the other fixtures. You never know, Leicester or Man United may drop points, but that's not it for me. The fact that is the level, that is how bad Chelsea have been tonight, should be concerning for Chelsea. It should be. That level of performance is just unacceptable in a Chelsea shirt. It's unacceptable for any team in the Premier League, but especially for Chelsea and where we want to go. The fact that the players put in that level of performance, how dire it was all round, it was just an absolute mess, and it deserves to be critiqued. The positive is we have a couple of days till the next game, but I don't know where Chelsea go from here, to be honest, and it's going to be a real tough job, I think, for Frank Lampard picking up the squad to go again for the remaining games, depending on other results as well. We may be bailed out like we have been previously, but it shouldn't be down to that. Chelsea should be winning these games, as well as Sheffield United have done. We've beaten Man City in recent weeks and put in such a great performance, and it just is mind-boggling when you see results like that, but then we can't beat West Ham. We lose so poorly to Sheffield United, not even putting up a fight really in the game. Terrible, really terrible. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video and listening to my rambles. Please let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter at @SonOfChelsea. Also hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And I'll see you again.